which will be interesting.
This is Zoe Renee interviewing Nikki Blaine of Nikki Blaine Couture. Hey, Nikki.
What's happening?
So what inspires you to create some of your designs? What's your main inspiration?
Well, I always have to have a muse. Well, the question is it for a client or a collection?
For a collection.
Well, for a collection, I definitely have to have a muse. I start my process with my fabrics. That's how I really gain my inspiration. Then out of my fabrics, I come up with a theme and a concept that will coincide with who the muse is at that particular time, and then I pretty much just move forward in building a collection. But within my design aesthetic, I always try to have at least 3 different textures within the style, so it's apparent that it's a unique look.
Okay. What about for a client?
For a client, I always ask her, because typically it is a female, I want her to describe her personality to me, because then that will let me know how far I can push the envelope in designing. You know, if she says, well, I'm kind of conservative, I'm in corporate America, then I know I really have to refrain from being, out of the box. So I really try to make sure I complement their personality and also have that Nikki Blaine Couture, the Nikki Blaine twist into it. So that's what I always make sure. I make sure that the client is satisfied because it fits their character and their personality, and not dress them into something that they're not, because at the end of the day, they're not going to wear it if they don't feel comfortable in it. So it's all about making that extraordinary woman to look extraordinary. Yep, that's me.
So you once told me you pick the fabrics you work with based on your mood. What fabrics are you drawn to at the moment? Anything specific for the season or?
Well,
you seem to be doing a lot with lace lately, so is that one of your main fabrics that you're drawn to?
I am definitely drawn to a lot of lace this current season. Lace and leather and sequins. I mean, sequin is always going to be me because I'm really into the evening wear. But yeah, primarily this season it is a lot of lace, and then in terms of color, lavenders. So leather, lace, lavender. And
well, that could be a song right there.
What? There we go. And then at the same time, my infamous black. I never go wrong with
that. How did the fabric speak to you? Like how do they speak to you? What makes you so drawn to those specific fabrics?
Initially it's the color, then it's the texture, and then it's just how it will flow. It's really in that process, because I'm drawn to the color of it, then I begin to feel it, and then I kind of just wave it in the wind or the air, and then I begin to envision how I would see this constructed. So
if you could name 3 things that have contributed to your success, what would they be?
3 things that I would say contributed to my success would be perseverance.
Because you've been doing this for a very long time.
Yes, and I continue to press on, and I don't give up, even though I'm like, it's from time to time you get discouraged because it's a competitive industry, and there's always someone that's gonna try to be one up or will be one up on you. So you just have to maintain your focus. But definitely perseverance. At the end of the day, my philosophy is time will tell all. Anybody can be a one-hit wonder or a one-year wonder, but it's the longevity that really represents who you really are with whoever you're planning or destined to be. So I just hone in on my perseverance, and then the second thing is that I'm that one that is almost willing to do what the next person is not. Meaning, I'll help someone or I'll donate my time, and only thing I get out of it is a thanks. The average person is not really interested in helping everybody. Not saying I'm interested in helping every single body, but I know I will extend a hand when the next person probably would not. So that plays a role too as well, because it's not always about the money for me.
Right. I would definitely say you helped me with my career, and we worked together a lot on a lot of different projects, and it isn't always about the money. It's about other things, and helping people is a big part of it. So I think you have to help other people, definitely to get where you want to be in the end.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah. And my third point, I think it would just be the passion that I have for it. It's not really about the money. I know the money will eventually come, but it's really primarily the passion that I have, the burning desire from a young child. I always find it interesting when a friend of mine that I went to either grade school or high school, I'd be like, oh my God, Nikki, you are actually doing what you said you were going to do back then. But it was like that was just my destiny. It's just this is me. I don't know, it becomes a challenge for me because at times I almost want to give up and just be like, I'm tired of this. But then here's this voice in my ear like, Nikki, you cannot give up. Look how far you've gotten. So the passion.
And you've also told me, I know before, that you said that you always have to challenge yourself. Do you feel like you challenge yourself?
I do. To a certain extent. I challenge myself because I'm consistent and I stick to what I plan to do in terms of, building Nikki Blaine Couture as a brand and the whole nine. But sometimes I reflect on other issues or other things that I'm dealing with and question that. So, it's kind of like just the nature of the beast of, how you view it and how you look at it.
You have two beautiful girls, Sydney and London. What is it like being a mother and an entrepreneur and juggling the two? What are some of the obstacles that you have, that have popped up in over the time of being a mom and an entrepreneur?
Oh Lord, honey.
Maybe just a couple.
I'm over here
of the main ones.
That question. That was like what, a hitter? Okay.
You know how I like to add everything up at once.
Yeah.
Throw it all at you.
Zoe Renee with her 2020. Okay. No, real talk. I would have to say, it is a challenge. It's exciting. I love my girls. They're
a handful, but they're gorgeous and they're fun.
Yes, Lord have mercy. No. Okay.
You got a lot going on with that. Just wait till they're teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. They really give me my second win because sometimes when I feel like giving up, they'll come by and, pick up something and be like, well, how do you design this? And let's do this. And can I use this fabric? I want to drape it on a mannequin. And, I'll sit there and watch them do it. And next thing you know, I have a second win to continue to move on. So they're definitely good in that standpoint. When it comes to schoolwork and extracurricular activities, I sometimes wish I had more time with them, which I think every mother or parent is probably feeling like if they can't give 100% to their child that, something's missing or they're lacking in that area. So, I always kind of, get a little down on myself in regards to not giving them 100% because I'm so consumed in building my brand. But I always sit back and kind of watch them play with their kids, not with their kids, but with their
I'm like, friends. Whoa, that's a whole different story right there.
With their friends in the backyard when they're on the swing set, and they're like, yeah, my mommy is a fashion designer, my mommy's famous, and I'm just like, oh, that's nice that they they feel proud about their mommy. So what else was in that question? I mean, like I said, it was a 6-shooter.
I like to throw those hardballs at you sometimes. All right, what are some of the obstacles other than not being able to spend time with them? Have you come up with being the mom and the entrepreneur all at once? You're doing 2 big jobs at once, and it's kind of a lot to deal with at times. So, what are some big objectives or main things that you've had to deal with?
Well, you know what? I will say the advantage has been in the past and currently is that I still work inside of my home. So but I'm getting ready to start branching out and working outside of my home. So being home has helped because my presence is still in their face. But it's been a challenge because when clients come over, or if I have to go see a client, or if I have a deadline, it really suffers. At least I feel like they're suffering. But every parent has a job. So the reality is, we have to work as parents. So I have to consider that and not feel like I'm neglecting my kids because I'm working at home and not giving them 100% of my attention.
Right. You live such a crazy life and, jet setting and being a designer and, you're in the media and you're a mom and a daughter, and you know, help your mom out. What if you could escape for a day and go anywhere and do anything with no restraints? Where would you go? What would you do and why?
Oh my goodness. I would probably, jeez. Yeah, I'm glad you dropped the jet setter concept, because you definitely know I'm going to get on a plane and go somewhere.
Well, you just went to New York and then to LA, for, you know, we're at the Oscars, so definitely a jet setter in my mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would have to say, well, for one thing, it's kind of weird, but I think I have this fetish with fabric. So
I think we went to New York for Fashion Week, and she was at the fabric stores more than she was at the fashion show. And she knows the people there by name, which is hilarious.
I'm like, you know, you have to kill, you know, multiple birds with one stone is how I see it.
Absolutely.
Plink. But I would have to say I would want to hit New York, hit LA, and then I would want to go overseas. London and, you
Girl,
know.
this is one day. This isn't the
one day. Oh, I'm sorry. You see, that's just how I think. You know, I mean, we're gonna squeeze it all in. You know, I'm not just gonna do that. I'm gonna do this too. You know, I'm gonna wave at you guys over to the left, but I'm really over here on the right, because moving to the right could move me to the left and in the middle. So, I'm sorry.
We're gonna squeeze 3 dates or 3 states into one day. And she probably, if anybody could do it, Nikki could do it. What would you do?
Well, I just said I had that fetish for fashion, for the fabrics. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I would definitely hit the fabric stores, and then I would say the garment district, because I mean that's what they have. They don't have fabric stores. But I would definitely be somewhere where I can meditate, relax, and then just enjoy life. You know, I'm not really a big shopper. I just want to just relax and let my hair really flow in the wind. And not just stand up on my head.
Maybe you need to get a new hairstyle then. Is that next for Nikki Blaine, is a new hairstyle? I know we've talked about that before.
Maybe, you know, a new color. I'm a little, you know, I like this low maintenance thing. Just get up and pull it out and let's go.
It's kind of your signature look. So if you got rid of that, then you'd have to have a whole new signature, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I notice every time I change it up, people get upset. I'm like, damn. Can I get a little variety in my life? But apparently not. I understand. It's kind of like a little Justin Bieber syndrome, I guess.
Every time we are together, it seems we're always laughing. You are hilarious.
No, that's you.
Most
merely just talking about you, because you're doing something.
Most people only see the serious side of Nikki Blaine. What are some of the other sides of Nikki Blaine? Some other sides that come out to play that most people don't know about?
Well,
and I've seen more than a few. We'll go from there.
Well, Nikki is a Gemini at heart. I mean, she's a true Gemini. So, therefore, yeah, there are a couple of characters that can pop out from time to time. Nicolette,
Nicolette's a little sassy. She's a little scary. She can be scary.
She'll let you have it, but, you know, I keep her on the down low. She's kind of like, you know, that pistol that's in the purse, and you would have never known she was carrying a pistol.
Girl, I met Nicolette this week, and I almost peed my pants earlier.
I mean, but literally, Zoe comes over, and she is asking 3,000 questions in 2 minutes about the Oscars, and I'm like, would you just shut up? Shit. I mean, you know. But yeah.
We hadn't seen each other for 2 weeks, which is kind of a lot for us. So you got to keep that in mind, too. And I had a Red Bull that day, so that makes a difference.
Yeah, Zoe was just talking too much, and it just rubbed me wrong.
So other than Nicolette, what are some of those other personalities that come out?
Well, of course, you know, I'm caring and thoughtful and loving. I'll give you a great example. Today, I was shopping at a particular store and gave her $100 bill. Not that I just carry hundreds all the time.
Well, you might.
I will be real soon. And it came up to $21, and she gave me back like $98. And I was like, honey, you gave me an extra 20. And she was just like, oh my God, but I'm thinking, okay, if I was a cashier and if I accidentally, gave someone too much money, I would appreciate the customer, telling me, I'm sorry, you made a mistake. And, and I appreciate when people can just honestly say, Nikki, you made a mistake, and here, let's correct it. So I always try to do unto others as how I would want them to do me. So, that's a perfect example. I mean, that happened today. So that's kind of like the caring, thoughtful side. And I care for my mother. She's had a heart transplant, and I'm constantly ripping and running, taking her to doctor's appointments. And I don't mind, because at the end of the day, you only have one mother. And
she is one of your biggest supporters, I would say.
She is my biggest supporter. Always has been, always will be. And I just know, when that's your rock in terms of who I can tangibly touch. Well, tangible is touching. But who is, tangible within arm's reach, I know she has my back. So, I mean, I would be foolish not to have hers.
Right. And that's something that I don't think anybody really knows about you, is other than, the designer part of you, is the daughter and the mom and the entrepreneur. And there's so many different sides to you that people just don't know about. So I think that this is a good insight for them.
Absolutely. People tend to just see me as a designer when it's so much more. And then when people do not see me, I seem like I'm a ghost or I'm not participating in events. It's 9 out of 10 is because I have personal things going on that are of greater value and need immediate attention, and not that I'm just totally disregarding. I mean, like the Midwest Fashion Week is coming up. And at this point, I'm pretty exhausted. I've traveled from New York to LA. I've been in Chicago, and I've just been around. I've been around the map. So in terms of in the U.S., so I'm a little exhausted. I have orders I need to fill. I'm in the process of moving some things to locations in the city. I have a lot going on, so sometimes things become they're not that important to me. And at the end of the day, I've already had a show in what was that, January 9th, the Excel event.
Yes, that was fabulous. That was a great turnout. We did a great job on that.
Yeah, it had huge publicity and great audience. I mean, TV, radio, so I've already made my presence known in Indianapolis, so it's not like it's a pressing issue.
Well, your presence has been known in Indianapolis for many, 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 many years. I don't know if you guys know this, but she's in the who's who of Indianapolis, and she has all the books, because I just reorganized her studio, and yeah, she's in the who's who, numerous editions, so absolutely already in the know for Indianapolis. Like I just stated, I recently reorganized her studio, and I found some numerous projects that were not finished, and I was just curious of, what attracts you to a project and what keeps you interested in a project, because I know as an artist and with numerous ideas in your mind, you're constantly thinking about different things all the time, different ideas. You can get stuck on a project and then kind of get off of it. What keeps your interest in a project? Like, what gets you drawn to a project, and what keeps your interest?
What draws me is the creativity for me to do whatever I want to do within a project. What tends to suffer or the project is drawn out is because it's not really my vision that's involved. It's more or less somebody has a vision and they want to turn me into their seamstress. I do not appreciate that. If a person has designer beside their name, that's exactly what that means. Don't come with, A, B, C, all the way to Z, and all you want me to do is to implement that look. Because now I'm working for you, which I'm working for you regardless, but I'm working for you to express how I feel you should look. So sometimes when working with people, I'll start something and we'll just disregard it or toss it in the corner because it wasn't my vision and I didn't like it. I have to stress that sometime with clients. I'm like, you came to me because you wanted to wear a Nikki Blaine Couture piece. And a Nikki Blaine Couture piece is not the client coming and telling me how they want every single intricate detail to be, because that is no longer a Nikki Blaine piece. But let me tell you something. The disclaimer is, if I'm making it, it is mine. My name.
Nikki Blaine Couture.
Yeah, and if people have if they're challenged in that area, then, it'll get tossed in the corner. Or if I just no longer like the direction something is going, I'll just toss it in the corner. Or if I'm just tired and something more exciting came along, then it gets tossed in the corner. I mean, I will tend to toss things in the corner.
Yeah, I found about 30 pieces. That's probably 40, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say 30 because I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes it hit me and I'm like, oh, I remember when I started that jacket. Let me go ahead and finish that now. That happened with the Excel event, that black jacket with
that
the
was
deconstructed
fabulous.
sleeves. Yeah, I had started that jacket, I don't know, maybe a year ago. And what happened was the client, she wanted a larger collar. So I was like, you know what, instead of, deconstructing this jacket, because I'm like, this jacket looks pretty nice like this, I'll just make her a new jacket. And that's how that got tossed over there in the corner. But it'll be things like that, because it's really more work to go back into your work, at least for me. I would much rather just start all over so I can feel good about it. But, if I get to, grabbing my seam ripper, and next thing you know, I've pulled a thread that has created a run through the entire jacket, that will irritate you to no end. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I don't ever want this client to be around me anymore.
We might need to cut that out. No, just kidding. This is raw interview. We're not cutting anything out. This is raw and important and behind the scenes, and you're getting it all right here. As a fashion designer, you create beautiful clothing. Absolutely, everyone knows that. But what is your design style when you're creating? Do you have a specific, something that you would call it specifically?
Well, I've considered my style glam chic. That's what I coined it as.
Okay, and what is glam chic to you?
Glam chic to me, here it is. Glam is because I prefer to use glamorous or high-end fabrics. They usually come with a little price tag. I mean, they're just more expensive fabric.
Right.
And then the chic is because, here it is, you want to be fashionable, you want to be trendy, but you want it effortlessly. So therefore, it's the glam chic. Even in terms of, even if it's an after 5 or a wedding gown, you really don't want to look like a lot was put into it, but it's going to be an extraordinary look. So, but obviously a lot was put into it.
Right. They don't know the behind the scenes of everything you have to put into it for a piece, for a garment.
Yes, I prefer for it to be flawless. It's just like, oh my God, this little simple look, but it's extraordinary.
And not all your pieces, I would say, are simple. I mean,
no,
you definitely
I wouldn't say it's simple at all, but I'm just saying simple because it doesn't seem like a lot was put into it, but it's an extraordinary look.
Yeah, I've been behind the scenes and seen her make her pieces, and it's amazing what she puts into them, and it takes a long time, a lot more time than you would expect, and there's a lot of energy and time and heart that goes into every piece that she makes, and I can definitely vouch for that because I've seen it myself. As far as your personal style, which we've discussed numerous times,
woohoo!
we've had a few disagreements about this situation, but no matter what she wears, people are always complimenting her on it and telling her how fabulous she looks. So yeah. Apparently I don't really know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and every time
Zoe, and it drives me crazy.
Zoe wants to give me the gong. Like, I cannot believe you're getting away with this.
I'm like, you're wearing those boots, girl. What are you thinking? And everyone's like, oh my God, you look amazing. But we have discussed, and I don't know if you want to drop this, the new look that you're going for, that we're going to start soon.
No, who said I wanted to drop it?
So that's a to be continued on that.
No, but here's the thing. My personal style is, my favorite color is black. And really that's going to transcend into the new Nikki. It's just going to be a little more tailored and polished. But as you can, well, you can't really see now, but I have on black right now. It's just a comfortable color for me. I just enjoy black. And
What do you like about black? What makes you enjoy black?
You know, black is the absence of color, but or is that white? No.
Oh no, you didn't.
No.
Well, I told you it was raw. This is raw.
Put it like this. I'm just comfortable in black. You know, black is slenderizing.
It's very chic.
Yeah,
it goes with everything.
Chic. Yeah,
I love black also.
My thing is, you can't go wrong with black. You know, and if you are a little shapely like I am, it's forgiving. So I really appreciate black in terms of that.
Okay, well, we're gonna end on what's up next for Nikki Couture.
What's up next with Nikki Couture is, you know, she's going to be moving. Into 2 locations within Indy. Well,
2 new locations.
2 additional, because I'm still going to be working outside of my home.
The studio, the home studio, I just reorganized, and I just drew up design plans. So,
who asked you what you were doing?
You knew I had to throw that in.
Yeah, there's Zoe being Zoe.
But go ahead and talk about your 2 locations.
No, you go ahead and elaborate on what you've been doing.
For you.
No, but okay. Zionsville's
amazing.
One location. It's going to be downtown Zionsville in the Potpourri building. We're excited about that. That's going to be Nikki Couture and Signature Shoes. So we're working on that. And then I'm going to also be at the Circle City Industrial Complex, which was actually my first initial move that I wanted to make. And I've already started moving things over there. So I'm excited about that. I'll be working with, what will I be? I'll be neighbors with Wug and Nancy, and they are 2 extraordinary individuals that I've had a pleasure of meeting and working with from previous First Fridays. That's one thing about the Circle City Industrial Complex. It is